But back to your original question, what is a buyer going to be looking for? Well, the first thing, they want a reasonable return on their money. That's the first thing. And that's getting eaten up by, as you mentioned, rent, interest rates, utilities, labor.
Labor's another one, yeah.
And I know in the rest of the United States, as a rule of thumb in California, it's $20 an hour. Now, it actually might be $18.89 or $19.35, but for easy math in conversations with you and your partner, or you when you sit down and you're roughing some numbers out to see if you can afford it, it's $20 an hour. Now, I know there are laundromat out there that are unattended. It's hard to run a laundromat in Southern California unattended. It's unheard of. It's going to get run over by the wrong people, and then you're going to have a problem. And so you actually have to spend the money to keep people there. So back to buyers and sellers, which is where we started with this. So a seller actually has to understand his marketplace, and what a seller does and what a buyer does. When it looks at competition, there is no difference. One's going to glean the information to buy, and one's going to glean the information to keep their customers. And so I thought I'd just give you a real quick snapshot of what I do and what I see when I look at it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think, as you're kind of talking, you're mentioning all this stuff. I'm like, wow, I could see how somebody could get easily overwhelmed, right? Like, it's kind of scary already to buy a laundromat because most people who are buying them have never bought one before. A lot of people have never even bought a business before. And that's the situation I was in when I bought my first one, right? I didn't know what I was doing, and it's scary. And then my story scares people because I lost a ton of money, and people are like, well, I don't want that to happen to me, right? And there's a lot that goes into it that I had no idea.
But there's experience in there.
Oh, there's tons of experience in there. I mean, I paid for it dearly, but tons of great experience. And honestly, like the whole reason I started Laundromat Resource, this podcast, the reason we met is because of that experience and just saying, hey, I want to share that experience with people because that's hard earned and very expensive experience and wisdom and knowledge that I gained. And, I want everybody to have it without having to go through what I went through to get it. Right. And so, but it could feel very overwhelming. It's already scary to buy a cash business. And basically what we have to tell people is, hey, look, look, the seller's going to give you information. You're going to have to make an offer based on that information. And then we're going to have to go through and verify it after the fact. But you're going to make your offer based off of some like round average numbers that are unverified. Right.
I want to cut in there. So it's just what you're saying. And as scary as it is. So I got a phone call this past week, and somebody is getting a divorce, and the laundry's in the wife's name, and they're friends and they're amicable, but she's not healthy. So she really doesn't go to the laundry. She has somebody collect the laundry for her. Okay. And the laundromat is $500,000. And when I talked with the husband, he said, well, it's doing about 25 or 30, and the lease is good for another 15 years. And I don't know what the rent is, and they want $500,000.
Yeah.
So with that information, okay, so now I know the laundry. I've been to the laundry. I'll go back to the laundromat again. I'll make some more notes. But I plan to call 2 or 3 of my buyers that have been with me for a year because we haven't found anything, or we've made offers and they fell through. And I'm going to sit down with them and say, okay, in order to get the information we need, we have to reverse the process under which you actively are a broker and a buyer and a seller. And that is, we'll make an offer subject to the volume, a projected estimate of net income, subject to approval of the lease, and we'll give them $500,000 for it. And then we'll put some kind of multiple in there that says, if it doesn't do this or it doesn't net this, here's the new math that works for the purchase price. But that's what you have to do today, because most sellers aren't willing to sign a legal document that says, I promise to pay you a commission if you find me a buyer. Well, I can do this on my own. And the answer is, you might be able to. You will struggle with it. You will get irritated and pissed off at most of the buyers out there because they're going to ask you some hard questions that you're not willing to answer. And if you had a broker working with you and as a buffer, those brokers could probably answer those questions and still keep the buyer alive and make a deal with you. And so you're actually being a little penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah. Yeah. But that contributes to how scary it is, right? Like in the minds of a new buyer, right? All of that. And then you're saying, hey, there's all these nuanced things, right? You need relatively little core basic information to get a general valuation to be able to make that offer, right? You need to know how much income's coming in, how much the expenses are, so you can get that net income number. You probably need to know about how old the machines are, and you need to know some information about the lease. How much is rent? How long is left on the lease, and that. And from that information, you can come up with a valuation, right? But then, a ballpark and make your offer based on that information. But then you got to go in and you got to dig a little deeper, right? You got to get, the way I've been thinking about it lately is like the whole process of after you get an offer accepted until you close is clarity. That's the name of the game, right? Like you want to have as clear of a picture of that business as you can before it becomes your business. Yes. And that's easier said than done. Because in a lot of laundromats, because they don't have any books, or they have their books are actually handwritten on a napkin, which happened to me one time, or they have multiple sets of books, or their taxes don't match bank statements, which don't match the P&Ls they give you. And, they don't have any repair records and for the machine, all that stuff, right? And all that stuff is super common. Right. And so there's a lot that goes into navigating all of that stuff.
Right.
Which makes it, go ahead.
It makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
There are quite a few moving parts.